Hi, this is Anthony again, and recovering addict, and talk about opioid addiction and other drugs, and how I jumped off rock bottom into hell. So I left off with talking about the Dirty Game, and all of the members of the Dirty Game are deceased right now, except me and another one, you know. So it was about 10 or 12 of us in the Dirty Game, and all of them died from the horrors of their addiction. You know, drugs was at my front porch. Drugs was in my house. So after drinking the alcohol, they used to sit around my house, and the adults and the teenagers would say, "Pass me the roach." So I interpreted that they were actually smoking roaches, because we had a lot of roaches in our house, and a lot of rats, big rats, and uh, when they would say, "Pass me that roach," and I was like, "Why you want his roach?" I was thinking to myself, "Why you want his roach? There's a bunch of roaches in here. Just get you one." So I wanted to get high, you know. So what I did, I caught a roach, a live roach, and I stole one of my grandmother's cigarette papers. He used to smoke these roll-ups. I stole one of his cigarette papers out of his pack, and I caught me a roach, and I rolled it up, and I smoked it. I took a couple of puffs off. It was so nasty, man. I couldn't take it. So I actually rolled the roach up. I killed the goddamn roach, and I rolled it up in the paper, in the cigarette paper, and I lit it. And when I pulled off it, I choked, and it was really nasty. It had a nasty taste in my mouth, and I was like, "God damn, why are they smoking these roaches?" You know? And I stomped the damn thing, And I'm like, I never understood why they were smoking these damn roaches, you know? So when I would hear them talk about pass me the roach, after I had experience smoking an actual roach, you know, I would look at them like they were crazy. But I'm gonna move on to much harder drugs. When I was about 11 or 12, they had broken a Walgreens in my community, and they had taken out a lot of barbiturates. They had stolen a lot of barbiturates, Christmas trees, and red devils and dabs. You know, so they had a bunch of Christmas trees in my house, you know, and they were selling them like $1 a piece, 50 cents a piece, or something like that. So I stole one, and I took it. And when I took that Christmas tree, man, that barbiturate, I felt like the bravest person in the world. I felt like the baddest person in the world. I was still in sixth grade at the time, but I became a terror. I mean, if you say something to me I didn't like, I would fire on you, and I was just crazy, you know. And I think that's when I started my criminal activities, man. Well, I've been starting my criminal activities, but them red devils and them Christmas trees, man, they made me feel like a man. I'm 11 years old, man. You know, could nobody tell me nothing. My dad was a preacher, so he believed in sparing the rod. Sparing the rod spoil a child, but I really learned different, that it was not sparing the rod, was wisdom. If you spare the wisdom, you spoil a child. But anyway, man, I used to take these Christmas trees every day. Then I started taking them every day because we had a lot of them. So when we ran out of them, I started a weekend adventure of taking these Christmas trees, taking these barbiturates, man. So I would take them on the weekends. My I still play table tennis. I played ping pong all the time at the park. We had wooden sandpaper battles, and I was the best in the neighborhood, and I won all the tournaments. you know, and that's what I was known for, Ping Pong Anthony, you know. That's when I was hanging out at the park, you know, playing basketball and baseball and football and boxing and all that stuff. My family were good boxers. My cousin, they all boxed at the CYO, you know, and my brother-in-law, he would come home. He would come visit my sister. He didn't come home. Come visit my sister, and he would teach me some boxing moves, and I would go out on the street and practice them with my friends. You know, so I was known as being a fighter, but I really wasn't a fighter. I was more afraid. You know, I was afraid to run when I was threatened by a situation because if a situation threatened me, I was always taught by my grandmother, pick up a brick and bust their head, you know? So you have to get them off you. Everybody understand. The baddest person in the world understand one thing, that is pain. You know, so when you inflict pain on someone, they're going to leave you alone, you know? So I was the protector of my brothers and sisters, you know, because I didn't let anybody uh, bully them. The first fight I had, well, not the first one I had fought Nick, man, 1,000 times, man, you know. But anyway, his cousin had moved into the neighborhood and he pushed my little brother off of a tricycle, you know, that he was riding somebody else's tricycle, and I jumped off Kenny's porch and I commenced to whooping him, you know. So I always was protective of my family because I was the placater. I was the middle child, you know, and I thought that my family couldn't handle themselves, that I was the one that was able to handle them. So my sister got in an abusive relationship, you know, very abusive relationship. But the guy had become my friend, you know, and he would beat my sister and then tell me, man, that she deserved it. So we hung out together. He was a bad man, you know. We snatched purses together. We robbed together. We stole together. He was a bad man. But anyway, I took these barbiturates all the time. I was high all the time, mainly on the weekends, you know. And one day, a friend of mine, God bless his soul, he's deceased and part of the Dirty Gang, invited me to meet this girl, you know. And God bless her soul too, because she's deceased as well. And when I met her, she told her mother was sitting on the porch and her family was sitting on the porch. And when Diddy had took me over there to meet her, he lived right across the street from her. She told her mother right in front of me, I like him, you know. And I didn't pay attention to Diddy at the time, you know, because it was nothing to me, because I was getting high. So she invited me back over to her house. And when I went back over to her house, I told her that I get high, you know, and I had some barbiturates in my pocket, and she took some. She took one of them, you know, and we both got high and drank and hung out all day long. So I had a new running buddy, Pat, you know. But years later, after I got clean, I was clean about 10 years, 10 or 15 years, something like that. Driving down Madison, I ran into Pat, you know. And when I saw Pat, she had tracks on her neck where she had been shooting dope into her neck. And she was looking like she was 90 years old. And I hollered out of my car window, Pat. And she looked at me. And she was on Madison. She was homeless. See, we grew up by Madison. So Madison just had prostitutes, you know, and stick-up men and everything on Madison Street. So that was the heart of our community with dope fiends. And we used to be, I used to say, damn, I like to nod like that when the dope fiends be nodding, going down, touching the ground, raising back up. That shit was cool to me, you know? But I gotta stop right now because I don't want to go on, and I'm gonna tell you about Pat in my next video. So keep coming back. I know I got the same clothes on because I'm shooting this video in one setting, you know, and trying to get as much in as I can, you know, because I'm not